document.
The meeting of the Township Committee, the notice requirements provided for is April 15, 2019. The notice requirements provided for in the Indian Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given by transmission to the Star Ledger, the Independent, and the Tributary Times, and by posting at the Middletown Township Municipal Building, and filing with the Township Clerk all on January 10, 2019. Committeeman Hybel.
Here.
Committeeman Senatorino.
Here.
Committeewoman Snow. Here. Deputy Mayor Fiore.
Here.
Mayor Perry.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence to honor the troops serving worldwide, defending our constitutions, freedoms, and way of life. Thank you. Our first item on tonight's agenda, we have certificates of appreciation and proclamation. Our first proclamation is designating May 5th through May 11th, 2019 as Municipal Clerk's Week in the Township of Middletown.
Could our two clerks please come forward, since you're normally the ones that call the person? Again, I would have told you that. Well, good evening, everybody. You brought out a big crowd for National. But obviously, the Township Committee and I are incredibly fortunate to have such two wonderful people to help lead this town in both Heidi Grund and Karen Senna. It truly is appreciated. Every question, including many just today on a couple of procedural things that I need to get cleared up, and obviously Heidi in all of her experience, and Karen right behind her, backing her up and everything that she does. They truly run a great operation, and I can't tell you how often it is, and the day in, day out ability to bring folks in, get them what they need, and let them get on with their day. I mean, the amount of passports that we do, you'd think there was a mass exodus to somewhere. But anyway, obviously the 50th anniversary of Municipal Clerks Week is coming up from May 5th to May 11th. And I just want to, on behalf of the entire Township Committee, I know everyone here truly does appreciate everything that you do. So it's our honor to designate May 5th to May 11th as National Clerks Week. So thank you both.
Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have a proclamation declaring May 12th through May 18, 2019 as Police Week in the Township of Middletown. At this time, I'd like to invite Police Chief Craig Weber and Deputy Chief Bob Stefanski. And
what more can I really say other than how incredibly fortunate, again, another key part of our township is than our incredible police department, our police administration. These two gentlemen up here, I'm deeply honored to not only call colleagues but friends. They're there at every event, every night, no matter what it is. One of them is there. Friday we were at the Ken Tejan Foundation Memorial Dinner at Addison Park. It's just day in. We were at IDCA this week, both of you at Ideal Beach. But the work our police department does is bar none. And you two are truly part of the reason that America, that Middletown, and America, continues to be one of the safest cities, towns, not only in New Jersey, but in the United States. This proclamation is for Police Week 2019, which will be from May 12th through May 18th as National Police Week. The men and women of our police department deserve not only our greatest respect, but our greatest thank you. And there's no other way that we can do it. You guys certainly are a beacon of light for all the 67,000 people that call Middletown home. So on behalf of the Township Committee, I want to thank both of you and the entire police department. And May 12th through the 18th will certainly be a busy week for both of you. So thank you both very much.
Very briefly, Peace Week was established in 1962 by joint resolution of Congress, and President Kennedy at the time. May 15th is coincidentally the anniversary date for the founding of our police department, so May 15th this year will be the 91st anniversary for the founding of the Middletown Police Department. Very long tradition. I was fortunate to have lunch last week with retired Chief Bob Letts, who's 85 years old, lifelong resident. Still very active in the community too. So a lot of tradition and pride, and we appreciate the support of the governing body. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, we will be celebrating, observing Police Week on Friday, May 17th. Weather permitting, we'll be outside 11 a.m. and we have conditions like last night. Hopefully we'll be here next week.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'd like to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And one more item under the certificates of proclamation. We have a proclamation for the record declaring May 2019 as Buddy Poppy Month in the Township of Middletown. At this time, we have introduction of proposed ordinance 2019-3254, an ordinance authorizing the sale of certain property owned by the Township of Middletown, County of Monmouth, New Jersey, not required for public purposes pursuant to NJSA 48:12-13 et sec.
Any member of the public wishing to speak? I'm sorry. Motion to introduce. Second.
Committeeman Heibel.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Committeewoman Snow. Yes. Deputy Mayor Fiore.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held May 6, 2019. Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have a consent agenda, which would include resolutions 131 through 119-138. In addition, we have another resolution for the consent agenda, 19-141, which is a resolution opposing the Williams-Nessie Raritan Bay pipeline. And this would also include bingo and raffle applications for approval.
Motion to approve. Second.
Committeeman Heibel.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Committeewoman Snow.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fiore.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt the consent agenda. At this time, we have the Township Committee acting as the ABC issuing authority. We have Resolution 19-139, resolution authorizing the person-to-person transfer of liquor license 1331-33-001.
Motion to approve.
Committeeman Heibel.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Committeewoman Snow.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fiore.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt Resolution 19-139. This time we have Resolution 19-140, resolution authorizing the person-to-person transfer of liquor license 1331-33-030.
Motion to approve. Second.
Committeeman Heibel.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Committeewoman Snow.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Fiore.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt Resolution 19-140. At this time, we have Township Committee comments.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Just this evening, I'll report that I did attend the MYAA parade with yourself and Committeeman Idle. It's an event that continues to grow. It's actually a great day, and with over 800 participants at the MYAA, it just shows what our volunteers and our kids can do together. It's a fantastic program. I know the mayor was ready to throw out the first pitch. That's right. So, thank you for allowing me to participate in that. It was just a great event. That's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Committeewoman Snell.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. A couple of things I wanted to mention tonight. Good evening to you all. I attended an Eagle Scout Court of Honor 232, and again heard some wonderful tales from 4 of our young men here in Middletown. Ryan Bell was one. He built picnic tables and benches for HABCOR, which is a place that provides housing for struggling families. He also did some landscaping there. Second one is Matthew Decker. He refurbished the guardrail and created 2 stone pull-off areas along the driveway at the Oasis Foundation on Navasink River Road, and they take care of adults with special needs. Daniel DeSanctis designed and built a wheelchair-accessible patio at De La Salle Hall on the campus of CBA. And finally, Daniel Johnson renovated the Middletown South Band snack shack at the South Football Field. And he added 2 picnic tables and benches and put in a granite counter. So I commend all 4 young men for their efforts in gaining the distinction of Eagle Scout. The second thing I wanted to talk about was I attended a luncheon I didn't actually eat there, I was there before they ate, at the Oyster Point Hotel in Red Bank for the Catholic Daughters of the Americas, and it is the St. Mary's chapter in New Monmouth. They've been active since 1954, but the organization itself has been active for over 100 years, and their motto is unity and charity, and they do awesome works for all the families around Middletown, so I commend them for that. And lastly, which I totally enjoyed, was I attended the Middletown South production of West Side Story on Thursday night. I was amazed. The amount of talent that is in this township is just unbelievable. Alex Kozak, which is an English teacher at the high school, did an amazing job of directing the play. And as far as I'm concerned, the students' performances could have been on Broadway. It was that good. It was interesting because all of the actors rotated parts. So if you had Tony and Maria, if you're familiar with West Side Story, there was a different Tony all night long, and all of them, even women, got to play Tony. So it was a very interesting take on the play, and my husband, who literally cannot sit through anything that's more than 10 minutes long, actually enjoyed himself. And it did bring me to tears at the end, and I know there's one of the moms out here in the audience, Mom of Tony, and we were talking about how great the play was and how wonderful the kids were. And now we're keeping our fingers crossed that they make it to count bases, right? Okay. And that's all I have here. Thank you.
Thank you, Committeewoman Snell. Committeeman Hyman.
Thank you, Mayor. The Mayor was touching earlier on the Kenneth Dejan Foundation that's been set up for some time. If many of you don't know, Kenneth Dejan was a member of our fire department and was a Port Authority police officer who died in 9/11. I've been attending the event for many years now, and I just wanted to say that the people in charge of it and the people that are keeping his memory alive, it's just an amazing thing they do. There was over 500 people that attended the event, so thank you, Chief, for attending. I appreciate it. Kenny was a great volunteer to the town here and a Middletown resident. Next, I wanted to touch on the fire department LDH drill again. We had this weekend. We do a yearly event where we have about 75 to 100 volunteers for about 4 to 5 hours. They do training for their strike team that they have. That was successful. Thank you, Chief, if you're here. Mayor Perry and I also attended a business opening in town, which is exciting. Dr. Parise and Dr. Patel on Route 35. It's nice to see people wanting to come here. They were, I believe they were in Marlboro before. Yeah. So they're excited to be here in Middletown on Route 35. We're excited to have them. And the parade was, it's always a fun time to get out there with the kids and the coaches and all the volunteers that go out to support the kids. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Fiore.
Thank you, Mayor. A few things. One, a few of the proclamations, just a few comments this evening. A thank you, as always, to our municipal clerk staff, who does a tremendous job, not only here with meetings and the agendas, but there's so much that goes into the clerk's office with respect to all of the services that are rendered for not only this township committee, but our residents. So I'm happy to be proclaiming May 5th to 11th for Municipal Clerks Week. On that same note, our police department, Police Week, May 12th, we are very fortunate here, and I say it every year, I will say it every month, that we have the police department. On a monthly basis, they're doing something spectacular and extraordinary for this community. So we are very fortunate to live in such a safe community. Much of that is to the credit not only of our residents, but also to our fine police department and the leadership under Chief Weber, Deputy Chief Stefanski, and all of your administration. So thank you. Proud to recognize you in May, and I look forward to, I know you have a ceremony, I believe it's that Friday at the end that concludes Police Week here at Town Hall, which I think starts at like 10 or 11 o'clock. And finally, our veterans, Buddy Poppy Month. I know we have a very vibrant veterans community here in Middletown. It is always great to recognize all of their efforts and those, as we get into Memorial Day, who have made the ultimate sacrifice defending our freedoms and Constitution and way of life. So proud to do that. Two of the resolutions one of the resolutions this evening that was added to the agenda that I'm was happy to cast my vote for is the opposition to the Williams pipeline, which goes through Raritan Bay. Look, anyone who knows me knows that I am reasonable in terms of understanding the fair balance between the utility needs and the needs of the public and the public that utilities will serve. But to put a pipeline through, even though it won't have a potential immediate impact to Middletown from what I see, but the impacts, let's call it for lack of a better term, downstream or down bay, from the environmental impacts could have a tremendous impact in Middletown. And to be fair and to be frank, I don't see the inherent benefit of that pipeline to the residents of Monmouth County or the residents of Middletown Township. So I think it's a benefit to the state of New York. There's probably some benefit to the state of New Jersey down in Trenton, which there seems to always be, but it won't have an impact that's going to help us in any way. So I'm happy to oppose that resolution. That project. I do wish that the DEP would, I believe they had a comment period, but I do believe that they're not having special hearings or public hearings. I think that's a mistake. I applaud when we had the Board of Public Utilities project with JCP&L, the BPU, having those public comment periods, those public hearings. I don't see why they're not having them here, so I'm happy to vote for that resolution. You know what, I'll be brief and I will wrap it up there, Mayor. I'm sure you have a few other things, so thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'll echo the comments, obviously, of my colleagues as far as all the events were that took place over the last several weeks. Just two or three things that I just want to touch on quickly. The Tejan Foundation, I can't speak any higher of Lori Tejan and the work that they do, keeping Ken's name and his life in the memories of so many people. Middletown obviously lost quite a few of our own during 9/11, and Ken Tejan obviously died in the line of duty trying to save others. So the very least that we can do is once a year carry on that tradition and all come together to celebrate his life. And that's what 560 people did on Friday night, and it was an event not to be missed. I was honored to be there. There wasn't a dry eye in the entire house when the bagpipes started, the Port Authority bagpipes started playing. So obviously, I just want to thank them, thank Lori, and thank them for all they do. Second, over the weekend, Monmouth County lost a legend, a political legend, in Senator Tom Gagliano, who passed away. Senator Tom was truly a distinguished public servant, was an unbelievably kind man. I was fortunate to meet him several times. His contributions to Monmouth County and the state won't soon be forgotten. He was I believe, one of the founding members of the Jersey Shore Partnership. Cindy Ziff and Tony are telling me yes, but he was a man dedicated to the environment, understood the business side of every decision, but was there every step of the way for our environment, and founded the Jersey Shore Partnership, which has an incredible event every year in June, and I hope this year that they honor him at that. In fact, I believe it was 2 meetings ago, we passed a resolution urging the state to double the amount of shore protection funding that we pay each and every year. It's about $25 million matched by the federal government dollar for dollar, $50 million to protect our beaches. After Sandy, we put a large amount of taxpayer dollars into restoring our beaches, and I think it's only appropriate that we protect that investment, not only the residents that are impacted by storms, but the taxpayer dollars that went into rebuilding following October 29th of 2012. And finally, I will just echo the comments of Deputy Mayor Fiore. We did add this resolution on late, but it's better late than never. And I just want to recognize Cindy Zipp from Clean Ocean Action and all her efforts in this. She's sitting in the back there and leading the charge on this. And Cindy, I want to thank you and your organization for your leadership in this. And that's why, obviously, you see the support that this township and this township committee has, because this project provides zero benefit to the people, not only of Middletown, but to the coastal communities of the Bay Shore. I'm not willing, and I don't think any member of the governing body, by the actions that we've just taken here, are willing to risk the Bay Shore region, the beauty of the Bay Shore, for somebody in New York State to get their natural gas. That doesn't play well with me, and it doesn't play well with anybody up here. So with that, I will thank all my colleagues for their support on that. And Cindy, thank you again. With that, I will open it up to public comments. Before I call, I'm going to get to you, Mrs. Miller, I promise. I promise you. The first 2 people don't even bother raising their hand because they've already taken their little deli ticket up here to speak first. But before I begin, I will just mention a few things. Please state your name and address for the record. We do ask that you keep your comments to 5 minutes. At 4 minutes, I'll indicate that you have 1 minute left. So if you could be kind enough to wrap up your comments so that we give everybody an opportunity to speak. With that being said, Mrs. Miller, the honor is all yours.
I'm Pat Miller. Is this on?
Yes.
151 Gordon Road. I'm here representing Middletown for Clean Energy, a nonpartisan citizens group advocating for 100% clean energy. Would everyone who's here supporting clean energy please raise their hands? We're presenting 280 letters. They're in a binder, but we scanned them in for you because you asked for it. So
Because we had to stay green, Pat.
And my husband has the CD. He also has a copy copies of these letters. I'm going to read the basic letter for the record, but if you'd like to follow along with it, it's the second letter in the package. There's a cover letter, and Steve will talk about the cover letter later. A few people wrote their own letters, but this is the basic letter. Members of Middletown Committee. As concerned residents of Middletown, we recognize the ongoing environmental threats posed to our community, our loved ones, and our own health and property. We aspire to the following vision for our town and are working toward achieving it. The vision is that our legacy will be of a town and a world where our children and grandchildren can flourish. That is, we want to leave it better than we found it. Our mission is to make Middletown a leader among New Jersey towns in committing to and achieving 100% clean energy by 2050. The near-term benefits include being an attraction for clean energy businesses and jobs, prestige as a leader among New Jersey towns, and enhanced quality of life for residents, improvement in air quality, people's health, and general cleanliness of the town, and attainment of Sustainable Jersey Silver certification and Gold Star in energy. Our high-level strategy is we're asking the mayor to issue a Ready for 100 or We Are Still In pledge, and for a resolution by the committee to move to 100% renewable electrical energy by 2030 and achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions in all sectors by 2050. We want to update the Middletown Master Plan with the environmental sustainability element, and we want to implement Green Team Sustainable Jersey energy actions toward the Gold Star in energy. Some of the detailed actions that will make these strategies happen are this green building and environmental sustainability element of the master plan would reduce greenhouse gas emissions, conserve natural resources, and promote energy efficiency through public outreach and education. And updating the Middletown Energy Master Plan, we can model the 2019 New Jersey Energy Master Plan, which is due out within the next few days. We want to provide a 10-year initial path toward continual reduction of greenhouse gases to meet 2030 and 2050 goals. And some of the actions are to promote energy efficiency, to make Middletown EV friendly, to promote residential, business, and community solar, and to ensure all aspects of the environment are considered in all future construction. 13 New Jersey towns have already implemented the green building and environmental sustainability element, and Middletown can speed the effort by leveraging the work of other towns. Now, my husband Steve has a cover letter, which you also have, and this has further information if you call on him second.
How can I deny that? Mr. Miller?
I'm Steve Miller from 151 Gordon Road, and also a member of nonpartisan Middletown for Clean Energy. Way more than a decade ago, Mayor Sharpenberger was awarded a plaque to recognize Middletown's commitment as a sustainable city. And then later, in 2009, the Middletown Township Committee enacted a resolution creating a green team. It was signed by Jerry Sharpenberger and by Tony Fiore. Thank you, Tony. One of the first orders of business was to implement the township's energy efficiency and conservation block grant requirements, and that created the 2010 Middletown Energy Plan. So the first phase was energy efficiency audits and improvements for all the township municipal buildings. And now skip to today. Middletown is in the second phase of even more energy efficiency programs and embarking on our highly efficient, cost-effective municipal complex. That is thanks to lead-based oversight by Committeeman Kevin Santabrino. Mayor Tony Perry and freeholder Tom Arnone are initiating networking within Middletown businesses with Small Business Roundtable. And if the Green Team can only get 30 of those businesses to take advantage of the attractive benefits of commercial energy efficiency outreach, then the Green Team just may achieve enough votes to over the top to solar certification. So this work for more than the past decade is in the right direction, but it's only setting the stage. Per the October 2018 United Nations IPCC report you have in your hand, it was written by hundreds of international scientists, and also the November 2018 National Climate Assessment, written by 300 U.S. scientists from 13 federal agencies. They both agree we must speed up our move to 100% clean energy in order to stave off worsening environmental conditions, which the National Assessment predicts is going to shave 10% off our U.S. GDP by the end of the century. Tonight, we are asking that the committee create a clean energy stakeholder team and charge it with developing a 10-year plan that sets the trajectory towards sustainable Jersey certifications, as well as a broader goal of net zero emissions by 2050. And we enclose a sample resolution at the end of that package. We discussed this a number of times with various members of the committee. The plans of the clean energy team really took off till the end of March with Rick Heibel's ideas. And then Tony Mercandotti this last Friday felt that this just may fly. Ideal of this team would consist of a committee member, representatives of relevant township departments, a representative from the Monmouth County Planning, and an equal number of citizen stakeholders from across Middletown, including representatives of the increasing renewable energy sector in Middletown, plus expert consultants such as Sustainable Jersey as needed. And the team would be tasked to deliver a stakeholder plan to the Middletown Township Committee within 6 months of the date of enactment of the resolution. Today, I exchanged messages with Sustainable Jersey's Executive Director, Randy Solomon, and he assured us that they are there to guide us toward their Gold Star in Energy, which will put Middletown on the path to meeting our greenhouse gas emission goals. Sustainable Jersey is planning a meeting of leading municipalities sometime in May, and those municipalities are the ones that are serious about energy. So I encourage Middletown to join this select group. We expect that the outcome will put Middletown on the road to 100% renewable electricity and a substantial reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 and achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions in all energy sectors by 2050. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Miller. So just to piggyback off that, obviously, we want to thank you very much for the time that you've taken, I believe, to sit down with all the members of the governing body to make your presentation. Much appreciated. Many of the things that you mentioned are obviously things that you know are already in the works. Just last week, Amy, Sarah Nicolau, and I, who you know, sat down and took a look at some of the items that would get us over to the points needed for silver. Carrying out the items that we laid out would put us into silver certification by the second week, I think, in November, which is when they would recertify. That's around the time, I think, the second or third week in November is when they recertify. Without any setbacks, obviously, and I don't anticipate any of those, we would be at silver certification and hope to receive that recognition by Sustainable New Jersey. Obviously, as you both have discussed, we've discussed along with your team, I know some of the members of your 100% renewable team are here that came to my office hours, I don't know, 2 months ago maybe. We discussed the town hall, the energy efficiency that a new town hall project would have. We discussed the inclusion of solar energy, potential for solar energy on the new town hall through certain design aspects that we have taken a look at would allow for us to do that, along with the EV stations that you asked for one, and I said how about two. And I don't think you were happy with that number either. But then obviously with the small business roundtable that we are doing, that is a part of Amy's math equation for getting to silver. We will be discussing ways that the businesses across Middletown can not only upgrade their energy efficiency through buildings that they own, but decrease costs for themselves. And whenever a small business can decrease costs wherever, it's always good for their bottom line and employs more people. So obviously the Township Committee and I will take a look at this document that you provided, as well as the digital copy of all the petitions, and I just want to thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, sir.
So my name is Jan Dash. I'm here to support the Millers. My address is 108 Irving Brook Road. I've been a Middletown Lincroft resident for 32 years. I was actually on the original Middletown Green Team. I was in the business world for 30 years doing risk management. I have a PhD in physics, and I was a professor of physics, and I'm the editor of the forthcoming climate encyclopedia to be published by World Scientific. I support the proposal for the future of 100% clean energy for Middletown, and there are three main reasons. First of all, clean energy is an opportunity. The transition from fossil fuels to clean energy is a $10 trillion opportunity. Those with vision will make money and will bring jobs. The second reason is that clean energy is making increasing economic sense. Renewable energy prices are dropping rapidly. Clean energy is now cheaper than fossil fuels in some places, and in the future, that will become even more true. Third, clean energy is necessary for a livable future for our children and our grandchildren. The replacement of fossil fuels by clean energy is necessary to help stop the documented, increasingly severe effects of climate change. Middletown can make the clean energy transition and be a leader in New Jersey. Many other cities in the United States are signing up. We've made a start. Middletown got bronze certification from Sustainable Jersey when I was on the green team. Subsequent actions have been positive, including the 2010 Middletown Energy Plan known by Rutgers. That's a good start. We need to do much more, as you started to indicate there. So let's do it. And I'd be willing to help. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other member of the public wishing to make a statement? Are you both from Sustainable New Jersey? From the Miller Group? No? Okay. Go ahead. Start.
So we do know them and love them.
Noted for the record.
I'm Reverend Virginia DeRocca Ernst, and I serve the Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Monmouth County on 1475 West Front Street in Maine.
Thank you.
And I am representing, I have a letter here that is signed by 23 individuals representing 11 faith groups from the Middletown area. And I'll read it to you. As people of faith, we are not in agreement with the committee's resolution number 19129, resolution opposing New Jersey becoming a sanctuary state, and resolving that the Township of Middletown shall never become a sanctuary city. As citizens and religious leaders in this community, it is our responsibility to call us all to a higher level of civility and humane behavior on behalf of all who live and work here. In the absence of fair and appropriate immigration policies and a fair path to citizenship for those requesting it, we are called to provide sanctuary and welcome to our immigrant and undocumented neighbors. By offering dignity and compassion to the marginalized among us, we will build a stronger community. The rising tide of harassment and prejudice against immigrants is unworthy of a nation of immigrants and of this Middletown community. Our many faiths call us to love our neighbors, to recognize that no one is the stranger, to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and to support the use of justice for all people. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, ma'am, thank you for your letter. I've read it briefly, it's only 2 paragraphs. The only thing I want to say about our resolution, and I'm not sure how deeply you read our resolution has nothing really to do with an immigration or a path to immigration. Okay, if you read the resolution that we passed, what you will see is that this committee in the resolution says that we're not going to give sanctuary to any immigrant, non-immigrant, could be a U.S. resident, I think the mayor has made this comment, to anyone who undergoes or creates a criminal activity, that we will comply with federal law. Okay, so this is not Middletown saying that we are anti-immigration. This is not Middletown saying that we don't believe in immigration or believe that the way this country was founded is incorrect. What we're saying is we will not provide safe harbor for illegal immigrants who provide who partake in criminal activities, because that is a federal law. And as far as we're elected as elected officials, we take an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States. Some laws I don't agree with, but I uphold them. So I appreciate your letter, but I do take challenge to the fact this has nothing to do with immigration. This has everything to do with Middletown not putting the safety of our residents at risk. That is something I would never do. That may be something that from a political agenda our governor would like to do, maybe the Attorney General would like to do, but not me. And that's why I voted for that resolution. So if you really read it, you'll see that it doesn't really apply to some of the things that this letter says. Thank you. Have your time.
Yes. I'll call on you next.
So Mayor, council members, I'm the Reverend Rose Marie Newberry. My church is not in Monmouth County.
Your address, please. Your address.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
9 Kennedy Court.
Thank you.
My church is not in Monmouth County, so I'm here as a resident. I hear exactly what you say, Deputy Mayor, and I oppose the resolution because I think there are different ways to look at the whole issue. And we could oppose it, we could say, yay, be a sanctuary city, or we could be quiet. And that is where I suggest we be. I grew up with a mother who was not a citizen. We came in 1960, and she didn't become a citizen until 1995. There was an election that she wanted to vote for, and she made sure that happened. But for me, I grew up in fear of deportation, in fear of a criminal act causing my mother to be violent. Not all criminal acts would hurt the safety of this town. And it's horrific hearing about families that have been separated because of non-violent acts that brought them under scrutiny from ICE. I can also tell you, even though I have a legal passport, United States passport, I have been given the hairy eyeball at the customs and immigration checkpoints saying, you're not born in this country, and giving me extra scrutiny just because my country birthplace is not the United States. I have also feared the problems that have been going on for over a decade of requesting documentation from people for proof of citizenship. This hasn't happened in Middletown, but when people are arrested because they don't have their proof of citizenship, which is not a requirement, that concerns me. So this resolution concerns me that there would be extra scrutiny for people who are immigrants and who may not be carrying their paperwork. My birth certificate's not in English. So my birthplace doesn't say automatically that I'm a U.S. citizen. And the fear of children being separated is what really concerns me most. And because I grew up with that fear, I wanted you to hear my story, to understand that not everybody, thank you, not everybody who creates a criminal act is going to be violent and have any impact on our safety. So thank you.
Thank you. Reverend, I'm going to come down if you're ready for this young lady.
Hello, happy Monday. My name is Lisa Cordova, 147 Seabreeze. I live in the Ideal Beach community of Middletown, and I would like to thank all of you for passing the resolution to oppose the Williams-Nessie pipeline in the Raritan Bay. I applaud you for standing with several neighboring towns, and I would like to thank the residents of the Ideal Beach community who were able to get out here tonight to also stand with you together to show that we definitely lose with a pipeline in the bay. Just for the record, on Saturday at our beach week, we got about 30 signatures opposing, many Ideal Beach residents, many not. And in about a week and a half time, we have about 900 signatures on the change.org petition from the governor's office. So again, I'd like to thank you for the opposition.
Thank you very much. We have to get in there before that May 2nd deadline. Reverend Hunt.
Reverend Joseph Hines, 17 Gale Street, Middletown, and pastor of Westminster Presbyterian Church on Tyndall Road, just on the road from you. I brought some of my friends along tonight from church who agree with what I'm about to say. My comments are mostly directed to my Middletown colleagues, simply to say that we're one, Christians are not one, and people of faith are not one monolithic group in regard to sanctuary cities. We have different points of view, and I simply want to make the point, alongside the biblical teaching about hospitality to strangers, which we're commanded to do in all our faith communities, no doubt about that. Also stands the teachings about the rule of law. The Christian point of view on sanctuary cities should look at passages such as Romans 13 and 1 Peter 2. They stress a clear responsibility to obey properly constituted human authorities when their demands do not violate conscience. U.S. authorities are well within their proper powers in controlling immigration. Any nation or state that loses control of its borders will not be able to fulfill its basic God-given responsibility to protect its citizens. The state properly places first the welfare of its citizens. It properly makes distinctions between those who obey the law and those who break the law. It has no obligation to admit immigrants if it believes they will detract from national well-being. Therefore, I support the Township's resolution, as do the group that's here with me tonight, that Middletown shall not become a sanctuary city. We also support the strict enforcement of all local, state, and federal laws to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens. I thank this council for giving us a voice. We're a constitutional republic, and it's kind of hypocrisy to deny citizens of the republic the opportunity to choose who lives within our borders. I thank you for the courageous decision to pass this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, I'm Joyce Raspa from 30 Friendship Court in Shadow Lake Village. First, thank you for your service to the community. I'm speaking here as a resident in a kind of less emotional topic of paving and roadways, not just in the community, but also in Shadow Lake Village. I'm standing before you as a single resident, but we can bring 956 units in our community with over 1,000 residents, and we have paid taxes in between, I think, around $4 million. If you take the assessments times the tax rate, it's $4.8 million that Shadow Lake Village pays to the township. And our paving is really in very poor condition. I think I read that the budget has increased paving for next year, and I'm glad to see it. However, we've had some modest requests to have paving of potholes done that still stand unattended to. And also your contractor is not really the best, in my opinion, as a layperson, but an architect as well. They do cold press, and they don't clean up very well, and it really leads to a big mess, and it's not really great environmentally either.
During the winter time.
That's the only way to do it.
Okay, well.
Only.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
we can't use the hot patch.
Okay, thank you, but they can clean up a little bit better after themselves, so I will try to pass that on. But we're just asking for the requests that do come in that is for paving in the future to maybe just be carefully considered. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I got you next, sir.
Good evening. My name is Don Watson, live at 1 Collins Drive. We were talking a little bit earlier about clean energy, things in the town hall. Maybe as architect, Mr. Senabrino could expound a little bit more about what's going to be implemented in the new town hall as far as clean energy devices go.
For the municipal building, the mayor had mentioned we were looking at PV or photovoltaic on the roof. Additionally, there would be battery storage in the building as well, so that if the PV panels generate more energy than is needed, you can store energy and use it forthwith instead of getting from the grid. We haven't looked at geothermal yet, but we may do that as well. It would be within the numbers that we're looking at within the development costs. But we would also look at a building. The building, although it won't be LEED certified, it would achieve points similar to LEED Silver. We've asked the developer to put that into his pricing as well. Was there something more specific?
No, I have no idea. That's why I was asking if add a little bit more about what could be available.
When we looked to cost the building initially, again, we went back to the developer and asked him to make certain that that he can accommodate his cost per square foot dollars to make the building more sustainable and to include PV battery storage at least as well.
Thanks, Kevin.
Absolutely.
Also, I noticed on the past few bill lists that the Township Committee is expensing sandwich platters for your meetings. Is there any reason why you guys can't bring your own dinner? You have to order out on the taxpayers' overhead?
Yeah, it's called the 5 o'clock executive session. And it's called from the mayor's office budget that we just shifted a line item, Mr. Watson.
Okay, and who changes the meeting time to 5 o'clock?
That's the executive session time. We have sometimes meetings at 7 o'clock sometimes now, sir.
This meeting's at 7 o'clock.
Every meeting's at 7 o'clock.
Right, so who changed the time for the meeting?
The committee changed the time.
So that causes you to...
Causes us not to be able to sometimes get home from working. We do work full-time jobs.
Yeah, that's a...
Every single one of us. Every single one of us. Sometimes you can't get home for that very high township committee stipend that, you know, we get here. So. Sometimes you can't get home.
Brown bag.
Sometimes you can't. Answer the question for you. Then we'd be late for the meeting.
Well, you shouldn't have changed the times to 5 o'clock.
You should run for office, sir. You should run for office. Because you can change the meeting.
Mr. Watson, do you have any questions, sir?
Yeah, I think I do.
Go ahead.
Well, if I could just quickly expand on your question. Thank you. Obviously, just aside from the alternative energy solutions that we were looking at for the new town hall, just the building itself. Obviously, this building is bleeding energy, and it's right. Obviously, inefficient windows, energy, heating, cooling systems, HVAC systems. All these things will obviously the new town hall building would be a LEED eligible building, LEED certified eligible building, which would make it energy efficient. But I'll give you the list. Obviously.
Because you're building this building, most of it's going to be in the ground. So
yes. Well, it's not in the ground. It'll be part of it will be at part of the building will be up higher than and it will expand downward.
Part of it will be 2 stories above grade, the other part of it will be 3 stories above grade.
Okay, so the part of 2 stories above grade will be 3 stories.
Correct.
So I can do it right now.
Thank you, Mr. Watson.
Thank you.
I did
Oh, one more question.
15 seconds. You have left.
Does everybody sitting up here partake in that sandwich platter?
Do we all eat dinner? Yes, sir.
Do you all share?
And we give it to the police when the leftovers.
Leftovers?
They go to the police department. Every meeting. Every meeting. Every meeting they go to the police department.
How many sandwiches do you get for $100?
I have a girl that could give you like one.
I'm just wondering how many sandwiches you get for $100?
I don't know the number of them, sir, but thank you, Mr. Watson. I don't know the answer to your question.
Thank you, Chairman.
I'm not sharing.
Oh, thank you, Director.
I
Get
did
your facts straight, Tony.
I don't know what you are anymore.
I'm a resident.
That's good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good, sir.
Talk into the microphone, please.
I want to thank you very much for adopting the resolution 19141, tonight in the executive committee. I was coming here tonight to, in fact, address this very matter, and I'm very pleased that
You're referring to the pipeline?
I'm referring to the nesting.
Yeah, 1941.
194.
Yes. And just for the members of the public, that is the Williams pipeline resolution that Mr. Adler's referring to.
Resolution that was presented, I believe, to the Township Committee by in Ocean Action here on the Bay Shore. Pipeline, if constructed and operated, would have potential great danger.
Use the microphone, sir.
The pipeline is constructed, is built through the Raritan Bay into the lower New York Harbor. The potential for damage to our waters, our Bay Shore waters, to commercial fishing, to recreational fishing, to our children and families swimming in the bay, as well as communities who may be flooded during storms and super high tides. These contaminated waters will pose great health risks to us. I would very much like, and by the way, the toxins may become airborne as well. I would urge everyone in this room and beyond to call the governor's office and to email or write New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. They need to protect us. They need to protect the Bay Shore community, not only the people, but the businesses along the Bay Shore who depend upon the fishing industry, the restaurants, the tourism. So again, thank you very much. And again, I urge everyone in this room to contact the governor's office without fail. This is an urgent and immediate matter that none of us can set aside and say it's okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought up the businesses. Obviously, this does speak, the resolution does speak to the economy factor and the over $9 billion industry, tourism industry that goes along with it. But I know that several members of the Fishermen's Co-op, I know Mr. Isaacson was there. So, hang on, Leo. I promise one thing. Yes, ma'am. I understand you're all coming up at the same time, that's fine. But just for the record, only one person can speak, okay? I mean, you can all speak, but just one at a time. Just one at a time, okay? Thank you.
I'm Sashi Annette at 60 Ballot Place, and these are my neighbors from Ballot and Stacer in the Fairview section of Middletown. If I may, I have some photographs that I'd like to forward to you. We have a serious issue with drainage. The end of Ballot Place is a dead-end street. There's a drainage ditch. And the back side of the houses on Stacer faces the street. The front side of the houses on Ballot is the other side of the street. So if that explains the photographs a little bit more clearly. You can see that we have a serious problem with standing water that is not just standing, it is actually percolating. At my residence, I have thousands of dollars worth of drainage solutions that I had to install. We still have not entirely solved the problem. All of the neighbors that are here today are experiencing standing water on their properties that last for days and days after precipitation. And many have lived in the area as much as 40 years and have never seen a problem quite this severe. It's getting worse. We have the summer months coming. Standing water is a major health hazard, so that's a great concern to us. And we hired a structural engineer to examine our property, and he looked at the situation and said that this water is actually qualifies as a stream at this point. You can actually see it trickling across the street. So I do know that it's on your radar. We have heard rumors that the road would be paved, the drainage ditch. To be perfectly honest with you, when I bought my house, the person I bought it from told me I was going to have to get in there and check it myself because it was not that well maintained. We do notice that there is a tremendous amount of overgrowth, and the road is not paved. It's a gravel road that just keeps getting more gravel dumped onto it, but it's not solving the problem. So,
Ted, that is on our list, correct?
Yes, it is actually. It's about to be constructed probably in June. It was in design for some time, but it was awarded on March 18th by this committee. So the road will be paved.
To be paved.
And at that time, I'll look at also any drainage problems. I know there's a lot of drainage issues out there. Probably spoken to half of you at least, because of the problems out there. I've been out there. We've gotten calls that there's a water line break. There's so much water coming through, but it's really not. It's just groundwater. That area in general has a lot of groundwater in it. It has the name Sunken City. A big name. A lot of people use it. It's really a lot of water in the ground. A lot of places around there. There's not a lot we can do about this water on their property. We can fix the road and have it repaved and have some drainage done there if we need it. The ditch should be able to handle the water once we get the water across the road. It has been an ongoing problem for years in terms of keeping that road up, which is why it was on the list in the first place and why it was on this road program.
Like I said before, we have to do one at a time, okay? Just for the record.
Ma'am, you are at 60 Bollock, you said?
that's correct.
Okay.
When you say that you can do something about the water in the streets but not on my property, the water is running from the street onto my property. And the last time that we had to freeze, it actually froze my car into my driveway.
The plan is, and I don't have the plans in front of me, of course, but the water is to be directed across the street. The road will be pitched and the water will be directed into that drainage ditch and then taken away from the road. So that water now will not run on the properties anymore. If you're on I assume you're on the lower side.
Yeah.
Right, so there'll be a gutter or a curb run on there that'll direct that water down towards that drainage ditch towards the Frost Ave.
So Ted, just for clarification, the paving and the alterations that you're going to be making to ballot will prevent water, should prevent water from flowing onto their property where you would have a situation of obviously mosquitoes in the summer and
Right.
freezing in the winter time.
Yeah, and you know, we're not just going to go there and pave it and hope it works. We're going to look at it as we do it and see the problems we encounter. So I'm sure once we have the contractor at the pre-construction meeting, which should be in the next couple of weeks, then we'll be able to highlight this area and the problems there, make sure he's aware of it, and then probably go out and talk to you as construction's about to begin.
And are you certain that there is not any other structural issue in the area, such as some kind of a break? Because there was a lot of work done. I think there was work done by the gas company, possibly also by the water company, and all of the neighbors have noticed that the problems were worse immediately preceding that.
No, we had the water company go out and test it. They tested for chlorine, and if there's no chlorine in it, that means it's groundwater. So they determined that it was not a break. And this is not the only location in town we've had them tested because the past 18 months have been the wettest 18 months in 33 or 50 years. So water's coming out of the ground pretty much everywhere in town. We're getting calls literally every day about it. We have problems all over town. So you're not alone. It doesn't help. Really, I know that you're not alone, but at least there is a design plan on the way to help your areas.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that, and I look forward to communicating with you further as we move forward. As this is all related, I would like to thank my fellow community members because energy issues and global warming are issues that are affecting environmental issues such as this. So I think it's really important that we all work together. And thank you very much for your contributions today.
Thank you. And Ted, you'll exchange contact.
Sure.
So they can say.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Just your name and address. Step forward towards the microphone.
Constance McKay, 98 States of Place. I'm also a native, but I've lived there, I've been in Middletown a long time. It's kind of, every time we complain, it's just really nothing gets done.
Well,
And it's, with all due respect, you kind of say, well, everybody goes work on. No one, I guarantee nobody goes home on a road that I go on.
well, I'm sure the people in Ideal Beach would probably disagree with you
Well,
on
I don't
that.
live on the beach.
I understand.
I'm not-
Well, it is a part of
I
Middletown.
understand, if I move near the beach, I expect.
No, he's just.
I'm just pointing out, you're saying that no one else in Middletown has the water, but I can assure you, the reason the Army Corps of Engineers is constructing a massive floodgate is to prevent similar, even to, I'm sure, a hugely greater degree flooding issues that occur on the wet side of 36.
Absolutely, but at least they have some paving. We're on dirt, and you can't even drive your car. I don't have an SUV. My car is being damaged. I've had muffler issues.
Well, on March 18th, correct, we awarded a contract to have your street paved.
Okay.
So that should, and I'm sure you'll keep in contact with Ted as we move forward on this project, that is going to fix the issues. We're not just saying it to say that we're going to get it done. We awarded a contract with hard dollars behind it to rectify this issue. So I can understand frustration. Totally can appreciate that. But when we put money up to fix an issue like this, we've heard you and we're serious about rectifying that problem.
I appreciate that very much. I really do, because I almost went in the ditch on the ice. I'm a nurse. I was on call. I got called in at midnight to Riverview. I backed my car up. I was ice skating, and I almost went into the ravine. And I called and I said, I'm going to get hurt. If I don't get a paved road and a safe road, I'm going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And I won't be taking care of anybody who has surgery in Middletown, because I won't be there.
Right.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Holly Arfani, 82 State Place. We sent letters, and I think that I've been in touch with you. Yes, so the issue was actually not as bad as after your, who it was that came and poured out the gravel on ballot. It became worse. My driveway that's all the pile of water you see. My kids cannot run around and play basketball or something else. They can't do anything. And it wasn't as bad as it was when they were there and poured all this gravel. It became worse. The issue became worse. So I just want to make sure that whatever you're going to do, your contractors know what you're doing, and then we do it right. So not just cover the water, actually do something about it.
Now, that's been fully engineered, and I know your particular situation, and we'll address that ahead of paving. If there's a particular puddle that we have to take care of, we can have to take care of that.
And how will we know about what's going on? I want some feedback. I want to know what's going on.
I know you just sent a letter to us, so I have your information. Once we have the pre-construction meeting and we get a schedule from the contractor, I'll contact you and let you know when this is going to happen.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And also because, so is there anybody going to do something about the mosquitoes that are going to grow there? And
We can look at that. We can try to.
environmentally friendly.
We'll get rid of that water. That's the best way to do it. Get rid of
There is no environmentally friendly to a mosquito when you're trying to kill it. I doubt it.
And thank you for all of you for coming out. I know, and believe me, I know how frustrating it can be when it takes a long time to get a paving done. And I appreciate the lady, the president who came from Shadow Lake and had similar issues. The challenge is, and we awarded the contract, so you're coming up. That's the good news. The challenge is that many people don't know that Middletown has 375 miles of roads that we maintain, which is about the distance from New York City to Richmond, Virginia. So the problem is that roads tend to just become, they just become worn based on the amount of, especially under the new brine stuff that we see. So everybody wants no snow on the roads, but that creates more wearing and the ice. I mean, you guys are dealing with the water. So we understand that there's only a finite amount that we can do every year because this is the state of New Jersey everything costs 20 times more to pave the road than it should, and a mile of road costs, what, $2 million or something like that? So $1.9 million, some stupid number. So that's the challenge, right? So we can only do spots and bits and pieces. It frustrates me to be on this committee and hear this. It frustrates me when I hit a pothole. I've blown 7 tires in the state of New Jersey, 6 of them were in Newark. But, that's I hear you. Trust me, just as frustrated as you.
And also
So.
because we want to sell our house, the
I
value
get
of
it.
the house is.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all, folks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Leo? Yeah. Rich, I'll come to you next, sorry.
Leo Christopher in Middletown. I have 2 questions. I ask them as briefly as possible. First, what is the status of the Brandy Wine committee as a government body and as a self-created private firm in the building of the new town hall complex?
I'm going to ask Mr. Nelson.
You would do that, thank you.
No problem. I didn't even have to tell you.
Well, as of last week, all the appeal periods have lapsed, which is the first time frame that we had to wait for. Right now, the interest rates are fortunately we're at about 4.8 and change percent in interest. So the interest rates have gone down from what we had projected, which 30 basis points less than what we were projecting, which is very good. Means the project will come in a lot cheaper. We anticipate unlocking that rate within the next 2 weeks, and then we'll be proceeding to closing after that. And then once we close, then the ground will start getting broken.
Yeah, any suspense time? You have a time exactly?
Not yet, but we should within the next few weeks.
Let us thank you for that prompt answer. The second question has to do with the matter that I brought up, Mark Janice and the Supreme Court ruling against AFM, CME, American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. I believe that's a private firm, right?
It's a union.
The firm, the American Federation, is a private firm.
It's a union, private, yes, union.
Private union.
It's a private institution.
Yes.
I regret to state that I had learned when I lived over in Tinton Falls that I was not invited to labor arbitration meetings. I'm a private citizen, and if a private union can be available, I think I have a constitutional right to attend those meetings. It's my money they're talking about. But that's much later in my life. I just want to know what is the government here, the head of personnel, 5 members of this board, the lawyer of this board. What are you doing to? What are the guidelines? Here's the question: can I get all the guidelines in print through Freedom of Information Act, through Heidi Brunn's office, on the guidelines that the American Federation is implementing to help people who want to opt out?
You're talking about the ramifications or what occurs following the Janice case, Supreme Court case, Leo?
The article I cited is the latest issue came out today. I paid for a copy up at the Middletown freeholders, the Middletown Public Library, and this is the second year they're into it. So counting the copy now, the next one in, and next one. The third one in from the copy. You can lift the door up, you know, it turns, and you can take out the copy. I said I'd get you a copy, I haven't burnt the copy, so,
So Leo, just because we got 1 minute left, just so I understand, you're asking if we have a policy with regard to the opt-out for union workers that fall under the state, county, and municipal employee union as a result of the Janus case?
that's right.
No, that's, yeah, right. And go ahead.
I mean, we've had employees opt out already. We have procedures in
Now, I
place.
think,
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
could you get me a number, please?
Yeah, we haven't seen me.
Yeah, I don't know what the number is, but we have a process in place by which employees can opt out. We're following the law since the time the decision came down. There was also a state law that tried to block it, tried to get around the Supreme Court's ruling, but frankly, we're following the Supreme Court's decision that
Is the article,
the law of the land.
I'd like the attention of the deputy and
I'm just discussing this with him.
He's discussing your
yeah, well, then, the problem is, I think only 22 states have such a private sector union working for public sector union people. I think it's 22 states. So it's not a major problem. I can cite examples at the time, but there's, in that article, it cites three ways. I'll just give you one of them. It gives all the numbers of 3 locations, I think three states, 2 of them on the West Coast. And it says that the private sector unions, supporters of the public sector unions, that they have 10 days to opt out. It's either when they first were employed or the date of the birthday. 10 days. They have to make the decision. They should be able to opt out anytime they want.
Yeah.
So trying to blind.
Leo, out of respect for everybody else's time, because I've been tight with everybody else, I got to be tight with you on the 5-minute rule here. Make an appointment with Jim Van Ness, he's right behind you, okay?
I don't want to speak to Mr. Van Ness. Van Ness is private, he's a wonderful man.
I'll make sure that Mr. Mercantante is there then as well. All right, I'll make sure that's not.
A document of procedures in Middletown.
There's no document, Leo, it's just we follow the law.
Just apply the law as it is ruled by the Supreme Court. It's not that we follow the law there, we don't encumber anybody's ability to opt out.
We're not allowed to interfere in the relationship between a union and the union members. So we're not advocating to opt out, not advocating to stay in. That's none of our business. It's between the worker and their union. And they make a decision about whether they want to
Leo, I gotta go to the next
opt out or not. We don't
Back
get
up.
involved.
Just one comment, please, just one comment.
5 seconds.
If I had the money as a private citizen, I would try to start a court in a Supreme case and see if they could withhold me from having the right and privilege of standing before the Supreme Court with my lawyers.
Okay, thank you, Leo. Mr. Isaacson.
Richard Hutchinson, 812 Little Place, President's Office, I'd like to thank the committee for coming out with I'd like to thank the committee for coming out against the gas line. Because I don't think people really realize the damage that the gas line can do. It's very dangerous to the back. I mean, they just started cleaning up an area coming up, dig down 14 feet, dig a lot of stuff up, but we don't know what's down there. That could close the whole bay down. That could destroy the whole Middletown coast right here. All that new beach you put in, you close it down. Close down the climbing, close down the fishing, close down everything. It's very dangerous. So I thank the committee for coming out against it. And I'd like to thank Cindy's doing it too. She does a lot.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, I'm Sue Ellen Fairback from 187 Marshall Drive in Middletown. And I am also here to just speak very briefly about the pipeline, to thank you for opposing it, and to thank Clean Ocean Action for the article that they had in the Monmouth Journal, because I would not have known about this important situation had they not written such a detail-oriented article that enabled me to understand what the problem was. So the final point I would make is, because the gentleman, I'm sorry I don't know his name, the gentleman in the plaid shirt who urged us to write to the governor and also to the Department of Environmental Protection, it's exquisitely easy to write to the governor. You don't have to take out pen and paper or type anything. You just go on his website, there's a template there, and you can fill out your name, all your personal information, and the point you would like to make. That's all I wanted to say, and thank you for this moment.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Tricia McGuire, 49 Foxwood Run. And I wanted to follow up. I heard a question asked by Mr. Watson earlier regarding why the meeting times have changed, and I did not hear their answer. I wonder if you could answer that seriously.
Well, yeah, it was actually something that's come up in prior years that I know has been discussed for many years, but obviously it provides a greater opportunity. In fact, last year we noticed that there were a large amount of folks that might have come out to the meetings that would leave maybe before the public comment period, the public hearing for an ordinance was able to come up. So we decided that it was appropriate to move the meetings up, so perhaps it would give a greater ability for those who might not be able to stick around for all that long an opportunity to speak.
Sure. So I'd like to follow up on comments that were made directly by you this evening, you as a body, that you were finding it difficult to be at a 5 o'clock meeting because of dinner time and things of that nature. And I would like to just state that many people who live in this community commute to New York City, they get off the trains late, they get off of the ferries late, so they also face those same difficulties. And I'd like to note that the room has, just a moment, I'd like to note that the room has emptied as people's businesses heard they leave and go home. And so I don't necessarily know that a later start time is affecting that particular transition out the door. I do believe that the earlier start time is prohibiting people from being able to make it here.
Every other board in this municipality, including the Board of Education, has a 7 p.m. start time. We were the only one with an 8 p.m. We were the only one with an 8 p.m.
The Board of Ed also, I believe, begins at 8 p.m.
They have 7 p.m. start times. I've been at least 2 meetings at 7 p.m.
Sure, I've been at any that are later than that.
Well, maybe they change them up and they
Well,
will.
listen, you did make a
Leo, you're not up there, Allow Ms. McGuire her time.
Thank you. The comment about, someone not having run for office, so they don't have the validity to come forward. I have been a candidate for office, and I would gladly switch places with you, show up later, bring my own dinner to meetings, and serve with transparency. And so, I really resent the snarkiness with which comments were made at residents this evening.
No, it was a resident who's the executive director of the park. Of which is a political, it's a political, Tricia, we both know that was a political stunt. Well, you can have an extra 30 seconds then.
Thank you very much. If you live in town, you have the right to step forward and make a statement.
Absolutely.
You do not get to shoot down those statements based on our affiliation. You also are very well involved with your party, and yet
absolutely
your opinion is valid as well. So it's not appropriate to make these political statements in this meeting. We're asking questions about why meeting times have been changed, and we are owed that answer directly.
Mayor Perry gave you a great answer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other member of the public wishing to make yes, ma'am? Hang on.
Good evening, Colleen Morgan, 107 Ocean Avenue. thank you again for taking action on the pipeline. I'm a resident, I'm on the Raritan Bay board. My mom gives use that water, and I also have my oldest daughter's fiance is in the fishing industry. So we are deeply affected by what happens with that pipeline. So I applaud you for standing up with COA and the rest of us and passing the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Cindy Ziff. I'm Executive Director of Clean Ocean Action. We're based out at Sandy Hook on Hartshorn Drive, which is also, as I understand it, under Middletown's jurisdiction. I'm here tonight to thank you so much, Mayor Perry, and all of you at the Executive Committee for making the decision to expedite development and passage of the ordinance, the resolution against the pipeline, the Williams pipeline. Deputy Mayor Fiore, you also made great comments, and Mayor Perry, you made great comments about how important this is to stop the pipeline. I am so proud of the Ideal Beach community that persevered and came out tonight. So many of them, and also had petitions out at the beach sweeps. I mean, here is a community. All of the Bayshore communities have fought so hard to clean it up, the water, and then came back after Superstorm Sandy to make the beaches beautiful. The town council was so much a part of that. And now we're here, we're faced with this outrageous proposal to slice Raritan Bay in half and release 1 million tons of toxic sediments that contain dioxins, PCBs, petroleum contaminants, heavy metals, methyl mercury. I mean, the chemicals that we want are better left buried. It's bad enough that they're out there at all, but to kick them up. I was just talking to the commercial fishermen, the clammers, also with the plants in Seabright and in Highlands. The Jersey Shore little neck clam is now the jewel of the shellfishing industry in the entire Northeast. They're sending our clams out to California. The mere idea of threatening all of those livelihoods is just unthinkable. And it is also unthinkable that Governor Murphy would not immediately object to this proposal and stop it. But we do need to call him. We do need to call him out on this proposal. There are only 2 people that can stop this proposal right now, and one is Governor Cuomo, the other is Governor Murphy. So as folks have been saying here tonight, please, by all means, send a personal message to Governor Murphy. If you'd like to just give him a phone call instead, the number is 609-292-6000. You can call up and leave a message. But we cannot risk all that has been improved along Bayshore. And I also want to thank G. Isaacson for stepping up. Commercial fishermen don't often, they have crazy hours too, but what they do is they put fish on our tables, and it's a really good, healthy product. And they're really underappreciated oftentimes, but for them to come out and step up is a strong sign. And we hope to get to 100% of every municipality along the Bayshore. We also hope to get the support of the freeholders to send a strong message to Trenton, to our governor, that this cannot be tolerated, and he needs to, as soon as possible, deny all the permits and use his power as governor to reject this project in no uncertain terms. So thank you very much for your contribution in helping get us there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other member of the, you had extra time? We don't talk. Thank you. Any other member of the public wishing to make a comment? Seeing no other members of the public, I move to close public portion and adjourn.
Second.
Yes.
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 Mayor Perry.
Yes.